Hi, we're Nick and Billy, two 50-somethings who decided to jack it all in, get married and head off to southern Europe in our camper van. We're not sure if it's a great idea, but we're going to try it anyway. So if you want to follow us to see if there's any places we go to that might be of use to you, or any hints or tips that we pick up, just hit subscribe. It's completely free. And hopefully we'll catch some of you on the road.
So, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, good evening.
My glasses broke. So we came away with 2 wine glasses and 2 champagne flutes and a couple of tin mugs. And I think the mugs are knackered, they're split, the champagne glasses have got cracked, and now our wine glasses, one of them looks like a Pac-Man. So, yeah.
It's where things have been squashed in cupboards and stuff like that, in it. So I do keep the champagne flutes up there, and that's where they're staying. But you put them down there.
Champagne flutes.
No, but you put them down there, and then you squished them, and that's how they got bust. That
I'm hardly ever in that cupboard, so it's not me.
That got stuck in a drawer, and that's how that's happened. So it's not like, you know.
Not that we're drinking champagne, it's like Cava.
No, we're drinking Cava, but it's very nice. Yeah. So, anyway, what day is it? Saturday?
Saturday, and where are we?
So Saturday, and we're at we're back at BARC, so which is just outside a place called
Busot.
And have we done a vlog about Busot?
No, not yet.
No, haven't we done
bits.
anything?
We've got to put it all together.
Right. So anyway, Busot is not that far away from Alicante.
Yeah, sort of.
Not that far from Alicante. And it's lovely. It's a lovely rural village, isn't it? And yeah, we had a great time in Benidorm, and we enjoyed our Christmas. But when we got back out and back into sort of a bit of the countryside, we sort of went, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's really nice to just get out of it and kick back again, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I do like our cosy nights in the van.
Well, we don't have much choice, do you?
Well, no, because you were in the middle of nowhere.
And they might not be that cosy anyway when they start. Anyway, so what we're doing is we're actually volunteering again at the cat and dog shelter. So we went there before we went to Benidorm. We've come back and, we've thought we'd give you an insight into what this work away is like. So you can come here in your van and your motorhome if you get in touch with them and help out. But you need to, have a bit of an understanding of what it's like. So we'll do that.
We'll
start with what it's like in the morning.
We love mornings.
Yeah, you have to get up now. Alarm's just gone off at 7 o'clock. So at 8 o'clock we have to do the dogs. It's freezing.
We're not freezing, we're cuddled up in here, but it's got bloody freezing outside.
Yeah, so if you're coming over winter, it is cold in the mornings. But yeah, you do have to get up and do some graft in the mornings.
Well, to be fair, it's not that hard, is it? But the dogs need a routine, don't they? And they get up early, don't they? They get up early. They go down at 7:30 to the goats.
Yes, they've been working, feeding their dogs, doing the goats, doing all that stuff down there.
Yeah, they do their dogs first, don't they? Then they do their goats and stuff like that.
So they're up really early grafting. So, yeah. You will have to get up, and we've not been in a routine for 40 odd days until we get here, because we can just lie in anywhere, can't we?
Because it's dark and cold in winter, you just stay in until it's like brightens up, don't you?
Yeah. So we're going to have to get the kettle on, get some heating on, and get our warm, scruffy clothes on.
Gloves, gilet, boots, hats.
Everything. All be on today.
So yeah, we have to set our alarm for about, well, it's up to you what you want to do in the morning, but I like a cup of tea, I like my brekkie, I like time to chill out and get things done. So we've been setting our alarm 7, you need to be out and ready to roll at 8 o'clock, and it's a little bit nippy in the morning, so you need to be wrapped up warmly. So I've been wearing walking boots, walking trousers, we've been wearing like a top, a fleece, gloves because you're mopping and stuff like that, and we've had our gilets on as well in the morning, but it's not long before you're sweating.
Yeah, so it's cold at night, cold in the morning, gets baking in the afternoon, goes back to cold in the evening.
Yeah.
So the first thing to do is you'll be up and the dogs are moved into areas,
Yeah.
aren't they?
So there's all the kennels. So they've got a kennel area with a bed in. They've got a bit of a run. So the first thing you do in the morning is you move the dogs out in order, because all dogs have to be moved in certain order depending on how they interact with other dogs. Move them out of their runs into their like pen, like play exercise areas. So you move them all out, back in, take the food bowls out, and then you address whatever needs addressing in there. So some of the kennels might be clean, others might be total poonami.
Yeah. If you're not very good with poo, this is not the place for you.
So, as I said, some of them, you know, whatever, and others, they're absolutely brilliant to say they've been in since the night before. So every kennel gets cleaned thoroughly, regardless of whether there's anything in there or not. Yeah. The ones that do have poo or pee, they need to be picked up, sluiced out thoroughly, squeegeed out, and then they're clean with disinfectant out.
Yeah. Everything's clean with disinfectant anyway, so it's just getting the stuff out. Then after that, it's a question of what?
Water bowls.
Water bowls, making sure all the water bowls are filled up.
Somebody that knows what they're doing does the food, because obviously there's food, there's medication, etc., etc. So you can't have just any old person doing that. And then it's...
Poop per scoop in the
There's
areas.
a lot of poo. There's a lot of poo.
There's a lot of dogs, there's a lot of poo, and they're in areas, like exercise areas, so you need to go and do poop per scoop there. So,
yeah, because obviously if they've been in all night, then they want to poo. And you don't want them running around in it and stuff, do you? So, yeah, poo patrol all the various areas. And then when everything's been done, you need to wait for the PPE dogs. So there's certain dogs that can only be handled by certain people because of their behavioural needs. There's 3 of them on site at the moment. And obviously you have to be licensed or you have to know what you're doing. So those dogs are dealt with first because it's all about safety. Those dogs are dealt with, cleaned out, walked, put back into their areas, and then you can start to move the other dogs around. So then it's Billy's favourite time.
Doggy walks. So you get to take the dogs out for walks because they need exercise. So sometimes they'll get a proper walk, sometimes they'll go to the exercise thing and play with them, depending on what group of dogs they are. But you do get to take them out, and they get somewhere at least half an hour or more.
Depending on, yeah, at least. And, you know, there's some beautiful countryside around here. We particularly like the trails called Narnia. So you can literally walk out the gates, you're into beautiful countryside. All dogs are exercised on the lead, and they're harnessed as well for extra, you know, because obviously, you know, you're walking dogs that you don't really know, and you know, there's some strong dogs.
Yeah, it's great walking dogs, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. That everybody likes to walk dogs, don't they? Everybody loves to come and walk the dogs.
Yeah, you get a lot of volunteers turn up from the surrounding area to do the dog walking.
Yeah, there is a lot of volunteers
they
actually.
turn up on different days, so there's quite a lot of volunteers that will dip in.
And there's a
2
core
or 3 days a week, and they're here different days, aren't they, doing stuff? So yeah, it's well
Absolute
supported.
core. Yeah, really well supported indeed.
But that said, Alan and Sue who run it
They
are
graft.
actually a lot earlier than we are.
They graft. They're grafters, aren't they?
Yeah, they have to do the puppies, they have to do the cats, they have to do the
Goats.
They have to do their own dogs because they've got nearly as many dogs up there as there is in the whole
Got
dog
7.
show.
They've got so many of their own and so many of the fostering, so they've got a total of 7 up there.
Yeah, so they really, really do graft. And they're up well before we are doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after the dog walks, they basically go back in for their breakfast.
Yeah, after they've been walked, they all go back in, have their breakfast, and they just all settle down then.
Yeah. So after that, you can either ask if there's any jobs doing. If we've done a fence, so we've been fixing some fencing at the bottom of the existing fence because one of Sue and Alan's dogs likes to break out if they can.
Okay, so we always ask if there's a little job we could do. So we're just finishing off this little bit of fencing. To be fair, they don't give us much to do they? But if there's a little job we can do, we'd like to do it. So always volunteer if you're around.
Yeah, and there's afternoons you do get a fair bit of downtime.
Yeah, there's plenty of time off. Yeah.
So work the mornings, work tea time, afternoons and evenings off.
Yeah, there's plenty of time off. They don't ask you to do anything, do they?
No.
So
We'll get on and do the rest of this chicken
not
wire
much to go.
or whatever it is.
And then it's hot, isn't it?
It's
I
bloody
need to
hot.
get these bloody trousers and boots off.
But you can't while you've got spiky fence.
No, I want them off.
But
there's no expectation.
Yeah, you don't have to go out and be working all day. you're here to actually help with the actual dog thing. So there's the mornings. If there's stuff to do and you want to help out, that'd be great. In the afternoons, do little jobs. And even then, it's not the whole afternoon. Until 4 o'clock is when people start coming back together, and that's when the dogs are going to have their evening meal. So again, it's back in the same principle of moving all the dogs to their designated areas in order.
Exactly the same process as the morning, except there's no walks. They're all in their huge play areas, so you follow the same process as morning, but the afternoon session's all about the interaction, playtime, stuff like that, isn't it?
So basically you play with
dogs.
I mean, there's even puppies here. Anyway, after the puppies are run for their food and you've done all of that sort of playing with the dogs, you're free again in the evening.
Yeah. So basically you work from 8 till 10:30, 11, and then from 4 till 5:30. You can put a little bit more in if you want, but otherwise you've got free time. So there's a lot to do in the surrounding area, isn't there?
Yeah. So we have cycled up to see the cave, and the cave is, what, the deepest in Europe?
Yeah, it's the deepest. It's not the biggest. It's like the deepest, highest type of thing. It's a great cave. I think it was about 1,000 foot climbing on the bike, so it's a bit of a slog up there, isn't it?
Very, very, very steep climb. 10%, 11%, and 12% gradients. So e-bike, or if you're a good cyclist.
There's a cafe up there,
yeah.
And the viewpoint's stunning. You can see right over to the coast. You can see all the hills. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really nice spot. So actually where we are, there's a lot of walking, road riding, mountain biking trails. There's all sorts of stuff around here. Yeah, it's a really good spot. And the village itself, Busot, the town Busot.
It's got a castle.
It's got a castle. It's got a musical instrument museum, of all things.
Yeah, a few restaurants. There's a few bars. It is a lovely area.
Yeah, it's a really nice little spot.
I really like it out here.
Yeah. So you can do all of that sort of stuff as well in the afternoon. So if you're free in the afternoon, go for a bike ride. You can even drive somewhere and go visit places.
Yeah.
You can go down to the station, get trams to other places.
Oh, yeah, you can do all sorts.
Yeah, and you could take a couple of days off and go somewhere else and come back.
Or you could do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, just chill out, sunbathe.
It's a nice sun trap in the afternoon.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a cracking little spot.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Is that 1 o'clock? What time is it?
1:15. That's a quarter past.
Quarter past 1, Will.
2:15, sorry.
2:15. Right, we've ridden up to Busot, which is it's only 2 miles from our campsite. Well, from the rescue centre, isn't it? But just like everything around here, it's never flat. So Busot's a nice little village, and apparently the mayor is absolutely ploughing everything into it, isn't he? So he managed to get a grant. And they've shored up the castle because apparently it was all starting to collapse. So it's all lit up and stuff at night now. You've got the caves as well. There's lots of sporting events take place around here. So it's just like you've got one good guy and he's like, you know, encouraging everything to take place in this area. So loads of hiking, climbing, walking. And of course, you walk half an hour from the coast as well. Beautiful mountains, half an hour from the coast. In fact, we can see the coast from just over there, can't we? So, yeah. Just another lovely traditional Spanish village. So there we go. Got the coast, and then we've got all these beautiful mountain ranges. So yeah, another cracking little spot. This is the Mirador del Monte Calvario.
So now we'll do our top tips for if you're coming.
Or, as you said before, logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing you must do is you must empty your toilet. You can use your toilet in the van when you're here, but the reason you're emptying it is because you can't use paper. So the system won't take the paper. So
you can empty your toilet while you're here, but obviously your paper needs to be kept separate like it is in a lot of areas around here anyway.
A bit like going to Greece.
Yeah, try and be as self-sufficient as you can. There is a kitchen, you can use it. There's no problem with water. There's no problem with filling your water up. But if you can just try and be as self-sufficient as you can so you're not too much of a drain. I mean, we've had our washing pegged up fences and all sorts of stuff. And they are lovely, lovely people and they will help you all day long. Yeah. But if you can try and be, like, power-wise, if you can try and be self-sufficient, really.
Yeah, so the place runs off solar, and they've got a problem with the solar at the moment. It's working, but it's just not fully charging on all the batteries. So, and if you have a bit of clouds, they might be a bit low, so rather they have the solar so they can run all the washing machines for the dog stuff and everything they need. We've not actually had to hook in at all when we've been here. So
I mean, I've washed up.
It's hot enough to put your solar back on during the day.
I've washed up in the sinks and that a few times because I can, but we've been boiling. We've had the boiler on for our own showers, so we could have washed up here. It's just there is a sink, there is a kitchen, so I've been using it. It's easier, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's one. The other thing is bring clothes that you don't mind getting covered in dust and dog hair that you can change in and out of, because you don't want to be bringing them clothes in and out of your van.
No, and make sure you've got practical clothing, warm clothing, gloves. I've been wearing.
It's cold in the morning.
It's cold in the morning, cold in the evening, so you need practical, sensible clothing, don't you? Yeah.
And footwear. You can't be walking around with dogs with flip-flops and stuff.
Oh, absolutely not. It's rough terrain, isn't it? Yeah, so, just sensible stuff, really. But what's your top tip, babes?
Top tip is, if you're coming here, there's obviously lots of lovely dogs. So you need to start mentally preparing, because you've got a little van and stuff. You don't want to come here as 2 and go as 3.
So we said, do not come home with a dog. Do not leave with a dog. Do not leave with a dog. We don't want a dog. We've got things to do. We don't want a dog.
We're travelling and travelling for years, so you need to be strong. And
However,
I say that from personal experience.
Look at this guy.
Pablo. Yes, so what's that mean to our plans? Because it looks like there's 3 of us going home.
Yeah, as you know, we haven't got the biggest of vans. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is, you couldn't ask for anything more, really. But when you introduce a dog into it, it ain't massive. There's people managing with far smaller vans than us, but I suppose...
We managed with smaller vans, with a bigger dog, a much bigger dog.
I suppose we've just got used to, this was a new van, and we've got used to this space to ourselves, haven't we? However, one thing we do have is an amazing garage that you can access from the inside of the van. So the plan long term is to put a cage in the garage, so it's like a nice, secure, safe area that we can pack round, because we don't want anything falling on the dog, and keep his own space and everything. And the owners here are very kindly offered to crate training for us while we're away, so so that he won't be nervous and he'll be settled for when we're travelling.
So we're going to say that the crate becomes his home, his little bed, his safe space, and then we will transfer that crate into the boot, and the boot has 2 doors to the inside, so that'll be open, so he'll have access in and out of his actual area. And if we need him to go in there, we can get him to go in there when we're cooking, so he doesn't get...
I mean, I don't want a dog here in this narrow little bit. I don't want to risk scolding him. Anything like cooking or stuff like that, you'd have to have him up there, or he'd just be tucked into his own space.
Yeah.
And if Billy annoys me, he can go in there with him.
Yeah, well, I'd probably go in there out of free choice and cuddle up with the dog inside the bed, because that's the kind of person I am.
You'll never fit in there.
Oh, what are you saying? It's a big crate. I've measured it.
Basically, what's going to happen is Billy's head's going to be stuck in the cage and his feet are going to be out here.
Yeah. So this is the plan. Barney will shut up for a minute. Barney, shut up. So we've got a cage for Pablo. We'll put it in his room with a t-shirt and towel that smell of us. So hopefully he'll get used to that. He's got his normal bed there. And then we'll use the cage in the garage, so he's got access in and out of the garage to a bed. So that should give him a nice safe space when we travel back, and hopefully it'll give him some sort of continuity when he moves from here into the van. So that's the plan. So when we get back from Morocco, hopefully he's taken to this cage.
But yeah, so yeah, plans have changed slightly. We're still going to Morocco because obviously there's all the legal stuff to take care of, isn't there?
Yeah.
And this will probably be our last chance to go to Morocco because each to their own, and there's lots of people take their animals to Morocco. But for me personally, I'm not over comfortable. So I think we're going to pretty much stick to Europe. But there's so much to do in Europe. We couldn't cover it in our lifetime if we tried.
Yeah.
And of course, stunning places at home as well. I, for one, adore Scotland. Billy doesn't. However, with a doggy on board...
Yeah, midges are horrible. Horrible things. So, yeah, we're still going to Morocco. That will give us a month when we get back leeway because we...
Just want a little bit of a buffer.
If anything needs sorting with the dog or any of the paperwork, we've still got time. Because the last thing we want to do is that fail, have to come back here and then him be...
We don't want him transported. We want to take him home with us, don't we?
There's nothing wrong with the people that do transport and
no,
stuff.
No, it's just we're here.
We would rather he got used to the van and us.
Yeah, because he's going to be travelling with us. He's going to be doing everything we do in here and part of our lives. So the sooner we can get him settled in and comfortable, the better, isn't it? And us too, you know, us getting used to stuff again.
And
a new routine. And I get a new shark hoover.
Yeah, that was the agreement that I'd buy her a shark hoover.
Yeah.
Just to get the dog hairs out.
Yeah. So
if you want to see how this all ends up with Pablo and where we get to...
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. It's going to be... Well, it's a change. It's changing our lives.
So it's going to be Nicky Billy and Pablo too.
I'm going to have to work on a new badge, aren't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you've got one of our old stickers, and we have only given away about half a dozen, they're collector's items. They're worth money. Keep them, and when we're millionaire YouTubers, you can stick them on eBay.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and keep your eye out. And mid-Feb, you should see the new addition to our family.
Yeah.
But keep checking in on us because it won't be long before we're heading to Morocco.
Yeah. And we'll leave you with some more Pablo. So, that was our life-changing news. We don't ask you to buy us a coffee or do anything else, but what we would ask is if you've enjoyed this vlog or any of our previous vlogs, then we're going to leave a link in the description to BARC. And if you'd like to make any donation to the great work they do, we'd love that. Catch you on the road.